Oh man, so Fantom rockets ahead of some really unexpectedly positive CPI data. For those catching up, we have had a triple beat on the US CPI figures, allowing the markets to surge. The equity markets are surging. Bitcoin was up over 3% today. Fantom up over 10% at one point. We're going to look at the charts. We're going to find out what are the key levels and what can happen. Make sure you smash on the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, check out the links to BYBIT and BitGet in the description to buy some crypto. Now, as you can see, yesterday we warned of this pattern, and this was a bearish pattern which I was sharing with you guys. It's a rising wedge here on Fantom, and you can see yesterday we were threatening to break to the downside. In fact, you can see this wick exactly where we were covering this off, where we actually broke to the downside on this pattern. And if you had the close here below here, that would have been a threat that you could be heading down here on Fantom towards 31 cents for support. We covered that off in yesterday's video, but something surprising had to come out of the woodworks to drive Fantom back above 40 cents. We're now above 40 cents on Fantom, and anybody who's able to buy the dip around that 20-cent mark, including like what I managed to do here on this channel in front of you guys, you are now 100% up on any dollar cost averaging you were doing around the bottoms. And this is why it's so important, not just with Fantom, but with any of your favorite altcoins, that you have that conviction that when the fear and greed index was 8, 9, 10, I mean, it's comfortable now. I mean, fear and greed index right now is 31. Yesterday it was 42. It's easy to buy now, but you're going to pay a premium for that on all your favorite altcoins. So as we can see, we've now managed to break to the top of this channel and break through the top, creating another higher high, which is really positive from Fantom. And as you can see, the narratives continues to suggest that the ideas we were having seem to be playing out, that Bitcoin gets the move, Ethereum gets the move along with some of the layer 2s like Matic and Optimism, and then good layer 1 solutions. We're seeing the likes of Fantom up, Near Protocol over 10% up today. Avalanche was up quite strongly today. So what I'm noticing on these pump days is I'm looking to see what are the narratives that are pumping, and that's what we're seeing here today. Now, for those who haven't caught up on the inflation figures, do go watch my few videos from earlier today, but it was a triple beat. 8.5 versus 8.7 expected on the headline, 0% month on month versus 0.2 expected. That is huge for the market. And core inflation came slightly down here. It was expected to come in at 6.1. It came in at 5.9, and that really sent the market really positive. And as you can see, the SPY reacted really positively. We covered this on a live stream, and as did Bitcoin. You can then see Bitcoin went into a bit of a continuation pattern and broke to the downside, which is quite unfortunate. Remember, you're more likely to break to the upside from these patterns, but it seems like Bitcoin's getting rejected again from that 24,000 level, and that's going to be what halts the progress of some of our favorite altcoins right now. I'm going to come on to that. So we're seeing that the S&P here, the markets have continued to finish off the day quite strongly so far. We've still got our higher lows, and it seems to be grinding out a positive day. So if we head on over to the markets, you can see Dow Jones surge 1.44. That's huge for the Dow Jones. The S&P almost 2% up, and the Nasdaq, which is the high growth stocks, which tends to be correlated with Bitcoin, surges at 2.6%. So you would have expected more of a powerful day here on Bitcoin. I mean, I'll take this positive day. It's good to see this green in the candles, but again, we're getting rejected from that 24K level, and that is why in my video earlier today, I said, guys, things are really good. Medium term now, that was really good. I was being quite bearish for a while, waiting for CPI data to show an improvement, and we've got that. So that is positive news, and I want us to take that positive news and say, this is good. Jerome Powell has control of inflation. He's brought it down, and that should bring on some risk on behavior between now and the next CPI FOMC meeting on September the 21st. So that's good news. But from a technical perspective, and this is where the beauty of marrying up fundamentals with technicals comes into it when you're placing trades, you can see it from a technical level, we still face major resistance from this 24K level, and it's not letting us get out of here, right? Here on the 4-hourly chart, look at that. We had a big 4-hourly candle, and even intra that candle, during that candle here, we already got the rejection from that 24, and in fact, it's even a lower high than the previous high, and that high was before the CPI data. So you can see a bit of oddities here where you've got the Nasdaq, traditional markets moving at 2.6% up today, but Bitcoin can only manage 2.5 because the bears have so many sell orders at this key level. So we've got a lot to fight for here. If I move over to the daily chart, I want to remind you guys of one important thing. If I bring out the VPVR, what I want to show you is this is a very hotly contested volume area. I've spoken about this a while. do not be surprised if this takes a while. We've consolidated a lot here and built up a lot of strength here, the bulls have, but the bears are strong here. This is their stronghold. If you imagine tug of war, they're holding on at this level. Once we clear this level, and more importantly, the peak from this peak here, which I've mentioned so many times, 24,700 roughly on that candle there, then we enter some clear realms here. Look at the volume. The volume really does drop. Because we fell so quickly, there's very little volume on the way back up, so you should be able to fill that gap quite quickly on the way back up, and that is why I'm so confident. Once we get that daily close above that 24 level, once we get beyond 24,700 on a confirmation, then you've got a nice trade up towards 29. And now that the macros tie in with that, I feel very confident that if this CPI is nice and positive, which is what we got today, and hopefully we can back that up on September the 13th when we get the next month's CPI, that can show Jerome Powell that, look, you need to think about pivoting, mate. And if he does, that could be the sign for markets generally to climb out of this bear market and start moving onto our next cycle. So that's really positive, but we need to fight for this key 24,000 level. Another really important point to make here is the dollar index. Look at this dollar index, guys. Look at this on the daily candle. It's fighting for its EMA ribbon, and remember, this moves inversely correlated to Bitcoin. So we want this to lose its EMA ribbon. We want this to close below its EMA ribbon. It's trying to fight back, right? Just like Bitcoin's weakening today, the dollar index is trying to strengthen later in the day. You can see the bulls are picking back up the strength of the dollar here. We need to see this close below. We need to see a longer daily period of weakness in the dollar where it continues to lose its EMA ribbon. That could set Bitcoin up for a big run. Switching back to Fantom, I do want to share with you the similar things we're seeing on Fantom. And look at this daily EMA ribbon. Fantom's really showing some great strength here on its daily EMA ribbon. Not only has it flipped above it here on the 4th of August, but it's maintained it. It's not had to come all the way back in, and now it's got the good extension up. This really is setting up for a nice play here on Fantom. It's pushing through its key levels of volume. This was its key level, right? The key level was around that 38, 39 cents mark, but it consolidated and it pushed through it, which is really strong from Fantom. It just needs Bitcoin to give it some tailwind to break through the 24 level, and you'll see some of these coins really start to rock. I mean, you've got Fantom here in a rising broadening wedge, which we're looking at here, and as you can see, once you clear through that wedge and you can start working your way to the top of the channel, then you're looking at a 58 cents mark, and you're looking at the 68 cents as the next key levels here for Fantom. And again, that gap there should fill quite quickly, because look how quickly Fantom fell from those levels. So as long as Bitcoin can play out its pattern towards 28, 29, Fantom very quickly will get towards 58 and 68, which is going to give you huge ROI if you are dollar cost averaging here at the bottom. Okay, so one more thing on Bitcoin is you do want to watch out for, what I do want to show you is this pattern here. So remember, we were covering off these different channels, right? And we were seeing that these channels were posting higher highs. We can't fail that. We need this high to go and get higher than that level. That's why that's so critical. 24,700. That's that high from there. We can't be lower than that. We can't show weakness even with this good CPI data. I don't want to see technical weakness where the bears are showing too much control here on this market. If we also take a look at the Fed rate monitor tool, give it a quick refresh, because this was 28% when I last checked it. No doubt it's moved since we've last covered it off, but I do want to show you what interest rate the market has priced in. And as you can see, this was as high as 58% previously. So what that means is the market has now pivoted from mainly pricing in a 75 basis point rate hike to now pricing in 50 basis points. In other words, they expect September the 21st, Jerome Powell will only do 50 basis points, considering he did 75 in the previous 2 meetings. Now, bit of a caveat with this. This can fluctuate a lot. This meeting isn't until September 21st. We get a whole bunch of data, including 8 days before this meeting on September the 13th, you get your next CPI reading as well. It's a lot to play for, but this is a really big day. This is a really big day because finally we've got some good news. We've seen that inflation notch down, and that is the key battle right now. Yes, you can look at the charts, yes, you can worry about your trades, but what I'm focused on for the long-term portfolio is when can we get out of this rut? When can we avoid this deep recession slash stagflation? That is what I was worried about. This we can deal with, right? If we can get control of inflation, it can come down, we can get through this mild recession, and hopefully it can just be that paper recession which many people were calling for. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash up the like button and subscribe. Catch up on exactly what the CPI data said, plus 5 altcoins I'm watching post this CPI here, and I'll see you in the next one.